Recent news, you might have heard that 8 new class race combos will be coming in Dragonflight, including the Tauren and the Draenei Rogues.
That's right.
Did you know that in an interview, Blizzard confirmed that they plan to eventually make all the classes available to all the races, and to do this, they intend to start setting the ground for the artwork and the lore. While this is cool from the gameplay side, let us examine some of the most ridiculous combos and how can they actually be explained, because
did y'all get lords down? We did.
Paladins,
we did. We're on Raglan.
Paladins, Undead, Druids, and Shamans. So how is Blizzard going to make sense of this, and what are some of the most bizarre upcoming race class combinations? Are you looking for cheap software like Windows 11 for the best price on the market? Well, Royal City Keys
Circle player,
is...
hold on. Let me see this clip from our last poll. What is this? Keep the quasars away. Circle player got marked with bomb and soak dropped on me. Oh no. So we had it. We had it. He popped. Yeah.
Let's go fat
Boom.
deeps, guys. Fat deeps. What happened? What the fuck
happened? Look at my morale change.
Let's go fat deeps, guys. Fat deeps. What happened? What the fuck happened?
You hear the pain in my voice.
It's your best option. You can also find a bunch of games at amazing prices, such as Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and best of all, if you use my code DORON, you will get an additional 10% off. So if you want to support the channel and get something for yourself, check out my link in the description below or the QR code on the screen. Over the years, it is quite evident that World of Warcraft has really evolved as a game. Originally, the race and class combinations were really sparse, and there were some classes that weren't even available to the entire faction, not just certain races. So, the Alliance had no Shamans, while the Horde had no Paladins.
Yeah, no, I don't think, not everything for everyone. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Druids for every single class? I don't think so. That's very much attached to class in general, or race in general. Like, there's a lot of story behind a Tauren Druid, a troll, all these things. I don't think that's what's gonna happen. But I think like the major classes, like the main classes, the ones that aren't super lore related, the mage, warlock, priest, like these kind, they're gonna get across all races.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. On one hand, it is cool that
I was drooling over the undead.
The other,
could you imagine you're like a plague-looking bear or a plagued-looking tiger? All your forms would look undead.
Entice people to play other factions.
Goblin, paladin. Yeah, I don't think so. I'll say I think shaman, paladin, druid. What else? Demon hunter. I don't think any of those 4 are going to be every single race. Am I holding up 4 fingers? Yeah, I am. I don't think any of those. I don't think those ones are going to be cross all races because there's too much story attached to the class. But everything else, I think, will be.
Pick certain races. Well, over the years, Blizzard started making
no
more
Burning
and
Legion,
more
no warlocks.
to more races, and it started
warlock lore is.
I'm
I'm not gonna lie, warlock lore is kind of janked right now without the Burning Legion around anymore. Where are these demons? Are they just summoning them from? I mean, I guess the demons still exist. They just don't have a leader anymore. If you make resto spells look more like Nightmare, I guess that could work. Yeah, Demon Hunter Gnome. Yeah.
And kind of controversial.
You are not prepared for that one.
For example, about a decade ago, we got the Tauren Paladins, which was really weird at the time. However, it was explained as them being more akin to some Druids, but as the years have passed, this controversial aspect really seems funny from this perspective, as we got even more race class combos that
Gnome
make
Druid,
even
little
less
kitty.
sense from a lore perspective. Most recently, in an interview, Blizzard confirmed that 8 new combos will become available in Dragonflight.
We know what
Among
those
them,
are.
The Tauren and Draenei Rogues, which for the longest time was like one of the biggest memes in the Warcraft community. You know, the Tauren weigh like a ton and are as big as a house, so it would be really weird for them to be stealthy in any way possible, especially as they have hooves and are not exactly the most graceful of the playable races. As you might remember in Warcraft 3, they literally wielded an entire tree as a weapon, so yeah, they definitely were not sneaky in any way.
The Tauren Rogue is a funny one.
Some of the more weirder ones were Tauren Mages.
Yeah, update your add-ons, guys.
As the Taurens have always been about nature, druidism, shamanism, and also orcish priests. Now, I gotta say, orcish priests were already kind of introduced earlier with the Megar, so it is no longer as big of a shock. Overall, Well, this
Right.
change seems to have been accepted quite well by the community, and personally, I gotta say, if they already went this far, might as well just take it all the way. Blizzard officially confirmed that they plan to, over the years, make all the races have all the classes as a choice, and that they will be setting up the ground for that to happen with the artwork and the lore that is to come. They kind of want to do it gradually.
Maybe.
They don't want to...
I still don't see Druid. Man, Druid is a lot of work for Blizzard in general, because every time they make a new race able to be a Druid, they got to create all those forms all over again. Unless they're going to get lazy and just give the same forms to the different classes, different races. So I still don't see Druid getting spread out across across everything. I need my dominoes to be updated. This UI is killing me without it. Yeah. Oh. You all pug raid 5 days a week, did you say? That's right, big blueies. That is right.
Them in a single
5
match.
days a week, we are
Personally,
here.
I'm kinda
7
split
a.m.
on this
Eastern
now.
time
I
we
really
get
don't
started.
think it is a bad thing. It will give more choice to the people that play the game. Although, as I'm always scared about the lore more than the gameplay itself, I feel like some of these explanations
man, count
are
me in. I'm
really
EU
going to
playing
be
US.
reaching
This
as
is
hard
perfect
as
timing
possible.
for me.
For example,
Nice.
I
Nice.
can see Orcish Paladins making sense,
That's right.
even in Night Elven
They
Paladins,
said it.
but I'm really curious how they're going to explain Blood Elven and Undead Druids and Shamans. That is going to require like some serious mental gymnastics, and I gotta say, I feel like the devs are not really respecting the lore all that much. But hey, let us examine some of the most weirdest combinations and see how they can make sense from a constructive perspective. So keep in mind, races and classes have never been the same in game as they have been in the lore. For most of the game ones, it is based on just balance and cool effects. In WoW lore, you know, warriors don't really jump off a mountain and heroic leap like 50 meters. Additionally, lore races always had their own flavors as opposed to the spells that are available in the game that are kind of more generic. So for example, troll priests wouldn't really...
For the most part, we run heroic. We want to get AOTC, but we do normal. We did normal first, and then we cleared it pretty easily, so we started doing heroic. And once we get AOTC, we'll be doing both every week. And we do time walking. Every time a time walking dungeon comes out, we'd run that. So we just did Ulduar, we did Black Temple. We always do that shit. And then once faded raids start, we're going to be doing Castle Nathria again. We're going to be doing SOD and Sepulchre of the first one.
Be the same as the
it's
human
just pug
ones.
rating in general, so we do.
To witch doctors. Same goes for Night
Pushing
Elven
for
priests
AOTC,
as well.
then back to normals.
Always had priestesses of Elune.
Normals and heroic full clears.
In any way to the Draenei or the human ones. Furthermore, Tauren Paladins are Sunwalkers, something akin to Sun Druids. They aren't really the Silverhand Paladins. And most recently, the Tauren Rogues that will be added quite soon could be explained as something akin to maybe criminals, pirates, and not just assassins as you would imagine a rogue to be, as would be the case.
I mean, one of the first pirates we see in the game, if you've ever played Alliance, was Deadmines, right? Deadmines, you have the, what's his name, Blackhoof, Captain Blackhoof or something? You guys remember that boss fight where he runs to the treasure box, grabs a weapon, and then comes back out? I mean, he was a pirate Tauren, right? So I guess I can see how Tauren can be rogues or outlaw rogues via that lore.
Some of the more slender races. Over the years, Blizzard has really bridged the gap with the lore for a lot of these combos, but still, some combinations are quite weird. Let us start off with the new Paladins. Technically, from this lore perspective, Paladins have really been a thing for thousands of years with the Draenei.
Really want Jailer's weapon on heroic, yeah, don't we all?
Azeroth perspective, they have actually been a quite recent phenomenon. Humans, during the war against the orcs, realized that the priests are too weak in melee combat, so they decided to combine warriors and priests, and they created the Order of the Silver Hand, and we got some really notable paladins such
Paladin lore
as
is pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie.
However, now they are just a completely different thing. It has nothing to do with the original ones. One of the weirder ones would be the Orcish Paladins. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, there's just something so unholy and unsettling about an Orcish Paladin. I know we already have the Megar Priests and quick...
Yeah, Magar, Orc Paladin. I mean, I guess they can just get in with the light. I mean, we have a Dreadlord Paladin at this point. We have a Dreadlord who's in touch with the light. So why not an Orc? Badass for dying to every major bad guy. That's right.
Lesson, there is that entire storyline where Alternate Denim was converted into a light fanatic world, so that is where they come from. However, now we will be getting regular Orcish priests in Dragonflight, so I guess Blizzard could figure out why not just add paladins as well if you already have the priests. From a lore perspective, they could be connected to the Argent Crusade, and also those that were under the influence of the Army of the Light during the recent Legion invasion. Realistically, this could 100% be explained in the lore quite...
I mean, look, right now with what's happening in Draenor, right? With what's her name, the Draini bitch who's like forcing everyone to join the light. There are very likely Magyar orcs who are taking on the light willingly, right? This bitch is going on a crusade, though. Anyone who doesn't take the light, she's killing them, basically. And we're going to hear more about that story, I'm very sure. But there might be paladins, orcish paladins, who are coming from the Magyar orcs, because the light is kind of being pushed on them, and some of them, I'm sure, are willingly accepting the light.
Quite easily. However, the unsettling part to me is that paladins were like the original orc counters, and now we are getting orcish paladins. While a bit strange, this is
cross-faction everything,
baby.
baby.
Can really be justified quite easily, despite just seeming super weird on first glance. Now, another weird paladin would be troll paladins. Well, before I'd say this would just be impossible, we literally
I can imagine
already
Zandalari.
had the Zandalari paladins, and they're explained as something akin to Loa worshippers. So just think of paladins.
The light of the Loa. I mean, Zandalari troll paladins. That it was weird at first, but it makes sense to me now. Just proves Alliance are jerks.
This is like an umbrella word. Trolls are
no, I
really
don't think that's
religious,
what it is.
So I can see this making sense. However, Night Elven Paladins would be kind of weird. For thousands of
Maybe
years,
they
we
use
had priests of Elune, and they had
the light of
nothing
Elune.
to do with the light. They worshipped the moon. They worshipped, obviously, Elune. I guess with this logic, we could just extend this to a more martial-versed order of Night Elven priests. So we get these Paladins. Maybe these could
Zandalari
be
can't be warlocks.
Who really knows what they could come up with? Now,
they will
have
be, though,
two
I'm sure.
even weirder ones. The most unholy one would be Undead Paladins, but I can see how this can be explained very easily if we get to
Paladin in the past life, Paladin in the new life. That's the way I see it. You died as a Paladin and you came back and decided to continue being a Paladin. Even though it burns your flesh to use the light. Hey, there's priests out there already, so. Server is up? Okay, nice. We'll get right back into it. We'll start forming up a group while we continue to watch.
But also, if these undead were just paladins and they were alive, while
I'm gonna repost the raid.
Forsaken priests are shadow ones, for the longest time in the lore we had light priests where they can actually cast
Did
light
I just get
spells.
fucking
It
trolled?
just hurts them with
I just got trolled. Piece of shit. Servers are not up.
they do it. So even though it is weird, I can definitely see it
Damn
happening.
you, K-Word.
However, one combo I just can't take seriously would be Goblin Paladins, and I would this combination
Goblin
isn't really
Paladins.
unholy, but
The light of the coin, maybe. The light of gold.
to me, it just seems kind of ridiculous. It is just so uncharacteristic of the goblins.
7
to,
a.m. Eastern time, yeah.
dedicate their
That's
life
when we
to
start.
serving the light. But, hey, I don't know. Maybe they just saw that there is more to life than just turning a profit.
7 a.m.
Although,
EST. I think we're
as we
EDT right
followed
now.
Naru in the Army of the Light quite recently.
Eastern Daylight Time is what we're on right now. But if you just search, like, what time is it East Coast U.S. right now? That's, 7 a.m. that time.
Become priests and paladins
Eastern
because
time.
they were maybe attracted to their purpose. They were definitely
I'll write it down.
exposed to the light, so
I'm gonna fill
I
my
can see
schedule
this
with you.
making
Sounds
sense in the
good, sounds
recent
good.
time. Now, let us turn to the other two classes
Goblin.
that have always been cultures.
A Goblin. I like that. Lame. You know what I was thinking, though? All these are supposed to get mounts, right? You're supposed to get a mount. So what are they going to have, like a holy motorcycle? Like a Pope Mobile motorcycle, maybe? With a little dome on it? Is that what... Because you're supposed to get a paladin mount, right? With your shit. Like, I'm sure orc paladins would get, like, some kind of holy wolf, or I don't know. Just look at New York time. Yeah, exactly. Just look at New York time. We're the same here. I'm in Michigan. Same time as New York.
How some of these combos are going to make sense in the future. The shamans and the druids. Let's start from the ones
Only
that could
trust
be
me,
most
Sam.
easily
I have yet to
explained
betray
the most
you
ridiculous ones.
and drive
so,
you off anything.
human,
This is true.
druids and shamans. Now, this is a bit weird, but I can totally see this explained quite easily. Humans have never really been the nature or the element-loving types, but they're fast learners. They literally learned magic faster than anyone else. They became literally better than the elves that taught them. Additionally, they also have kind
I
of
used to play as a human. Humans are the best.
in regards to these two classes, as long ago humans were actually in tribes, so it is totally realistic that they could have dabbled in some basic shamanism or druidism. Lore-wise,
I think it's
they
possible.
could reconnect with this lost heritage, or maybe they could discover some type of an old human group that was lost and that are practicing druidism or shamanism. Now, the second combo would be
with different clock
blood
changes,
elven shamans
I
and
think you're right.
druids. To me, this is a bit more ridiculous. However,
Blood Elf Shaman is weird. Blood Elf Shaman would be weird. I feel like Blood Elves are the least in touch with nature. So
Shouldn't
that
really
would be odd.
I don't know about you, but my first thought when I think of Blood Elves would be
DSD
mages,
sucks.
warlocks, rangers. However, when you think about it, the Blood Elves are literally just night elves that went to a different continent, and
That's true.
night elves were connected to nature, so maybe they rediscovered these old ways, or
Hair,
they may
skin,
need to
eyes, humans
embrace
have the most
druidism and
customization. This is
shamanism
true.
in order to
That's true as
recover
well.
the nature of what allows. While this is definitely uncharacteristic of the race itself, I can see it making sense. However, let's get to the last one, and the one I just can't get my head
I need
around.
to grab something
and
from my wife. Be right
Those
back.
are undead druids and
Undead
shamans. Now,
druids,
I
that's
just don't really see how this can be explained in any way. Being undead is technically the opposite of life and nature itself, so it would really be weird to have undead druids. Just imagine the actual animal forms. With shamanism, hey, maybe it is possible with the elements and all, but undead druidism is just, I don't know, just super weird. Being a druid is like the life class renewal and all this stuff. The only way I could see this explained is maybe somehow through the Shadowlands, Ardenweald, or something of the sort, but overall, it would require some serious mental gymnastics. Ultimately though, it will be interesting to see how Blizzard actually plans this out and how they actually make this new lore. Personally, even though I don't think this will happen in a long time, I would really love to see race-specific class effects. So, while gameplay-wise,
Right, like
they would be
skins
the same
on spells and shit. I
effects
think that'd
would
be cool.
reflect the races more, and they wouldn't just be generic. So, for example, Tauren Paladins would be using sun effects instead of the actual light. However,
Yes.
as this would be a lot of work, I
It
don't
would be
see
a
it
lot of work.
happening anytime soon. Thank you for watching. Check out the Lightbound Undead become the next Allied race by clicking on the screen, and check out Doran's Academy for
Amazing.
World History. See
Amazing
you
as
next
usual
time.
from Doran.